Hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and I am super excited about this project I'm going to show you because there's so many zillions of different things that you can do with it. So we are going to be making some Victorian cones that can be ornaments for your Christmas tree. They're also referred to sometimes as tussie-mussies. And if you're my age or older, you might remember this whole idea from May Day, the little May Day basket things that we used to make. I remember doing something very similar to this as a little girl in either Brownies or Girl Scouts. Anyways, it's going to be super fun, and I'm always keeping in mind a way to do it affordably and easily. So as you are hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, feel free to sprinkle, all that good stuff. I'm going to show you everything from the beginning to the end, but before I do that, I want to just mention, have you guys looked at the price of styrofoam cones at craft stores? They want like $2 or $3 or $4 a piece. This one is from Dollar Tree. It was $1.25, but I still think that is way too much money to spend on a styrofoam cone when you can make a cone of your own using this stuff that's called poster board from Dollar Tree. This particular poster board, I'm going to show you how we do it, but it is 50 cents a sheet, and you can make a ton of cones. And I have a follow-up project to do later this week that just kind of flips things over. Can you imagine? We're going to make some cone Christmas trees using this poster board too. Okay, so before I jump in, let me show you. I have been having so much fun. Oh my gosh. Just fiddling around with what is even possible. Okay, so these are some that I've made so far. This one has some pretty glitter on it, and it's vintage sheet music. This one I made using some fabric from one of those decorator fabric books. This one I made using some painter's drop cloth. You could also do canvas duck. Here's one that I want to remember. They still have glue strings on them. I want to remember to show you how to do this little part. Here's another one. I mean, you can totally go along with whatever your own style might be. And you can fill these with whatever you want or nothing at all. So I used buttons and then bling from Totally Dazzled. Okay, let me scooch these over here so that we have a little bit of room. Okay, so what am I even talking about? I am talking about this poster board. You can get it other places too, but I don't know why you would when you can get it for 50 cents a sheet at Dollar Tree. It's decent. Okay, so to make a cone, you are basically going to draw an arc on a corner. So it's going to be a 90-degree angle, if my mathematics are correct, with an arc, okay? And you can decide how big or small you want it to be. I am using a very sophisticated instrument today. It's a mechanical pencil with a piece of jute, or this is that polished hemp I love, and a ruler. So I have made a bunch of patterns. This is a 6-inch pattern. Here's 6.5. Here's 7. Here's 8. Almost all of these that I did here, in fact, I think they all are 7 inches. So let me show you how to make a pattern. And if you're using fabric, you're going to actually be gluing it to the poster board. If you're using paper, if it's stiff enough, you can just use the paper. Okay, so you want to decide how big you want it to be. Let's say we're doing 7 inches, all right? Here's my little ruler. I'm just going to put my pencil at 7 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to go to one of my little corners. And this does not have to be precise at all. And hopefully you can see what I did. I know it's hard to see with pencil. And then I'm just going to cut it out. For my first piece of poster board that I have been fiddling around with, I made a whole bunch just from one piece. So when you're done with your 4 corners, you can create more. That's it. This is a 7-inch, the base, to create a cone. And let's throw this over here. All right. So let's start with paper. I pulled out a few vintage pieces of sheet music. You're going to want something that's pretty stiff, not a super crumbly old piece of paper, and not something that's really thin. Let's do it on this. And this particular sheet music, I picked it up at Goodwill. That's the best place, if you ask me, to get music books. And then I just tore or cut the pages out of the books. It can be trumpet music, it can be xylophone music, it can be piano music, it can have words on it or not. It can really be almost just about anything. And I'm going to lay my pattern on here. I'm going to use my fancy little pencil to trace my pattern. Okay, it's traced on here. Put my glasses on. What do you guys think about this idea so far? Okay, let me tell you what my thoughts are. I vaguely remember when this kind of thing was pretty popular, like 10 or 15 years ago. I don't think it's super popular anymore, but I don't care. I like it. So I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I'm trying to do crafts that are going to be different and interesting and quick and easy, and that give you some ideas that you can run with. I love crafts using old elements like old sheet music, old buttons, that kind of thing. So I don't know if this appeals to you at this point in time, but it appeals to me. Okay, the hardest part about this whole entire project is getting your paper to curl. All right, and ooh, this side is pretty. Well, they're both pretty. Both sides are pretty. I think I'll use this as my front. Okay, and about the center is going to be right there. So I'm just going to start to sort of curl my paper. And this takes a little bit of fiddling around with to get a cone shape. You want it to go all the way down to the point. It's much harder to do when you know that people are watching than it is any other way. And don't worry if your paper gets a little crinkled, because you can smooth that out. Okay, I've got something that will work. And have you guys ever seen these little clippy-doos that you can get at like Dollar Tree. I'm going to use one of those to hold it together. And then I'm going to work on a piece of parchment paper. And here's why. When you use glitter, it gets all over my my mats, my, what are those things called? These things. It gets all over this, and it is hard to clean it off. It's much easier to just wad up a piece of parchment paper and toss it. So that's why I'm working on parchment paper. I gotta go wash that. All right, so, and I am using my low temperature hot gluing device from Pure Bonder. We're gonna generously apply some glue and stick our sides together. And for the base, I'm going to use my scissors and push it in there to try to push it down into the glue. Okay. So we're going to do this paper, and then I'm going to show you how to do a fabric one. The fabric one is going to involve actually gluing the fabric to this little cone thingy. Okay, and there we go. This is what the back of it's going to look like. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. I am going to cut this so that it's straight. Okay, so this is going to be the front. Alrighty, now, what do we want to do with it? There's so many things that you can do. It's mind-blowing. I started just using this tinsel around the top with hot glue, and that was pretty cute. Then I moved on to experiment with lace. And I think that is what we will do here. So let me find some lace of some sort. Let's use this one because it's kind of yellow and different. Okay, where do you get little bits of vintage lace? In the past, I have found it at antique stores and thrift stores, and where I live in Georgia, they have antique events that are like once a month. So I've been to those kind of things, and I've bought vintage bits of doilies and lace and stuff at those kind of things. Okay, and I think I'm going to do... which way do I want it to go? I'm going to do the little curly cues down. So I'm going to start on the back. I'm just gluing it with a little bead of low temperature hot glue so that I don't burn myself. Gosh, last week, another crafter who's a friend of mine, she got a really, really bad hot glue burn. I felt so bad for her. It looked so painful. And I personally am just not willing to ever risk that again because I've had my share of hot glue burns and they hurt. So I always use cheapy, low temperature hot gluing device. This one is a mini, and it's from Surebonder, and it's called a Cool Shot. When I first started making these, I'm going to just tell you guys everything. I started using a hole punch to put the ties through it, and then I realized that honestly, you can just glue the tie into the center inside of your little cone. That works just fine. Okay, and I have glue strings galore, but that is basically the start. Okay, let's trim. Glue is poking off. I'm going to come back with a heating device or a blow dryer or something and melt all of these gazillions of glue strings. Okay, so as far as the handle, I could use that same lace. I could use a piece of this. This is that macrame cording. I could use a piece of, like, this is a real sheer ribbon that came from Dollar Tree. I could use a piece of trim. Here's a piece of grosgrain ribbon from Dollar Tree. So, oh, and here's one that I glittered a strip of canvas duck, and then I glittered another strip to make the holder. So there's lots of things that you can do, but let's just keep this one super easy, and let's do some of this just to get it done. So, and you can fill these. I want to know what you would fill these with. You could fill these with anything you want. For a Christmas tree, I'm leaving mine super lightweight. I need a glue stick. Because I have an artificial Christmas tree and my branches don't seem to be very strong. So I'm going to look to see if I can find some ivory colored paper shreds. That's my plan. But you don't have to put anything in them. Or you can, if you want. Totally up to you. Okay, and then what you dress it up with is also totally up to you. Let's see, what do I have here? It could be used. And some little embroidery pieces. Where are they? I mean, I could do a little doily. Oh, heck. Well, let's just use a piece of this, because that's sort of close. Do I want to cut this up? Sure. I'm going to do an oval, and then we'll dig out some bling for that. A little bird's nest would be cute. That's what Denise says. Oh my gosh, I love that idea. That would be adorable. I love that idea. the absolute worst at cutting circles or ovals. Really the worst. Okay, so let's put that on. And then let's use a little bit of this same lace to do kind of a crisscross. Some of my lace pieces are so old and crinkled that I literally had to iron them. Okay, I'm just going to do a little crisscross. And then let's do a piece of bling. And let's see if I have anything that would work. If you would like my link to Totally Dazzled, oh my gosh, they have everything you could ever imagine, from fall leaves and Halloweenish stuff to Christmas items to fleur-de-lis. I have a little button pack of my own that I love. Let's see. I want to do one of these little bees. Let's try one of those. So let me know if you would like to look at my Totally Dazzled website. It's awesome. And the quality of this stuff is great. And one thing I love is that you don't have, it's not like other kinds of bling where you have to clip the backs off. Most of these are all ready to go. Okay, I think that would be pretty. Let me just add a little more glue on here to hold this down. Put this right here. A little bee right here. And I could continue embellishing as much as I would like. One fun thing that I discovered this morning is that if you paint a little bit of Mod Podge over it and sprinkle some of this iridescent white glitter on it, it looks beautiful. So let's do that. What the heck? I am just going to use a little bit of Mod Podge, but you could also use white school glue and really any kind of glue that you might like. Grab a brush. You can do this before you put all your doodads on or after. And when I'm all finished, I will get close-up pictures of all of these different projects. So, and this is not all that you could do. I mean, seriously, you guys, any kind of fabric that you might have, or like, you could do this with some Christmas fabric. You could do it with that old flannel shirt. You can make these with sweaters. We'll just do the front of this for right now, but I'm just putting on a very thin coat of Mod Podge. And then I'm just gonna, this is Sue Lynn glitter from Walmart. It's awesome. What's going on here? And I'm basically just gonna sprinkle it liberally over the top. This is what I mean when I say liberally. And I can come back and touch up any area that maybe I didn't get any glue on. It doesn't really show in this light on my camera, but well, there you can kind of see. Really pretty. Really pretty. This glitter is not my favorite glitter, but it works great for this kind of a project. Okay, so then I'm thrifty, frugal, whatever you want to call that. I'm not going to waste all this glitter. I did it on paper plate. I'm just folding that paper plate in half, like a siphon or a funnel, and putting what I didn't use back in my little container. This Sue Lynn here in sterling, I used it on, on this. This was a piece of paper that I punched, and then I glittered it. And then I did the little crisscross, and then I added a piece of my Totally Dazzled bling. Okay, hopefully right about now you're having a million ideas. I hope. Okay, this is going to take a while to dry. I'm going to hang it up, and then I will do the back side of it. All right, let's move on. Now I'm going to show you how to do fabric. All right, so this is, I think this is a 7-inch, all right? And so I could take another piece. This was a piece of fabric from one of those decorator books like this. It was on the top of my pile. I just pulled it out. Okay, so what I could do if I want to do that is, or I could do it on a piece of painter's drop cloth or canvas duck or ticking or any kind of fabric whatsoever. I am going to use some school glue and a brush. This is school glue from Dollar Tree. I got it yesterday. Oh my word. I'm going to put this on very liberally. I'll have to clean my fingers off in a second. You have a stack of paper mache cones. Oh, those are awesome. Next up, probably not tomorrow, but at some point this week, we are going to do Christmas trees. And we're going to use a big variety of things to make them out of. But I'm frugal and I'm not going to buy those $5 cones, the styrofoam cones. I'm going to make them myself using this. That was a little too liberal, Heidi. Let's get some of that off. I'm going to make the cones myself. They'll be bigger than this, using this poster board from Dollar Tree. Okay, so I just painted a liberal coat on that. Pull it up, and it really doesn't matter where I plunk it down. Let's just set it right here. Get a paper towel. I'm just going to put my fabric on it. I tried doing this with hot glue, you guys. I don't know if you can really tell, but it had some kind of lumps where the hot glue was. That's why I decided to switch to school glue and to basically glue the whole surface. So this will take a while to dry, and then when it's dry I will cut it off so that it's this shape, and I have one all ready to go. By the way, I do generally reuse my parchment paper in case you're thinking, oh, that's a terrible waste. These are, have you been introduced to this yet? It's $1.25. I get it at Dollar Tree. 25 sheets. This is the best stuff for crafting. And usually I'll have like 10 of them that have been used and are folded up, tucked underneath my desk here, that I can use a second or third time. Okay, so before I came live, I did this thing, this same thing with a piece of painter's drop cloth. You could use any kind of fabric you want. It's pretty dry, mostly. Okay, if you are liking these ideas, do this or this. This is really better. Or tell me in the comments. Those things help me with my Facebook mysterious algorithms, and I would really appreciate it. And I don't have to cut this exactly perfect. Because this part will be covered up, and then I will glue something around the top, which is this arc right here. So that'll be pretty covered up too. So think of any kind of fabric, really any kind of fabric. And if you're going to use something that's sort of sheer, then be sure to use a white poster board and not like the red or green or neon orange or any of those. Okay, so this is the 7 inches. And if you missed the beginning, I showed how I made these patterns. This is 6 inches, 6.5, 7, and 8. And you could go smaller or bigger. It's totally up to you. Okay. And I have found that it is a little bit easier to roll this. You do need one of these little clippy-doo things from Dollar Tree. Okay. That looks pretty good. Not perfect, but I'm not looking for perfection. So now I'm going to glue. And you're going to have to hold it for a minute. This is why it's really good to use low temperature hot glue, because it's going to be all over, I promise. Okay, let's go up a little bit. I'm being very generous with my hot glue. Whatever pokes out here, I can clean up later. Okay, let's go. Let's scooch this over. Even this low temperature hot glue, it is still hot, but it's not gonna like give you a serious burn. Okay, so you can see right here that it's not straight. That's so easy to fix. And I'm I'm going to come back and tack this part right here down a little better. Can you believe how easy that is? Oh my goodness. This is 1,000,000% my preferred style. It is cream and it has some texture, and we'll probably do some buttons and some kind of lace of some sort on it. So let's look and see what do I have we could choose that would be pretty. We could do this. That would be pretty on it. And then I'll do a button in the center. But I need something for the top that's gonna be a reasonable match. I think this will work just fine. Okay, where's the start? And into this piece of lace. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I think that will work just fine. So let's see roughly how big we need that to be. I'm going to do this one different. I'm going to do it so that the little design of the lace is going up. Okay, I'm going to start here at the front in the center. Wow, there's 157 people on if you're watching this live. I am so excited about this idea. I hope it's interesting to you also. We could do this idea, honestly, any time of the year. And you could put whatever you want inside of it. From flowers, like we could make some of our pretty little rolled rosette flowers or something like that, or real flowers, or I don't know, any little something that you might want. It could be hung like I have hanging here, just on a cabinet knob. You can see that sort of. Get this on, and then we'll move on to the next little bit. When it's all finished, I will probably get my blow dryer out because that works so well to get rid of glue strings, and I will just clean everything up. Melt all these nasty glue strings that are everywhere. And let's use some of this gauzy, what is this called? Organza, I think. This is Ribbon Boutique from Hobby Lobby. I think this style of ribbon is called organza. I could be wrong. And it says it was $1.99. I am sure that I purchased it when they had ribbons on sale. Okay, so let's decide, where do we want to be our front? We can come back later and clean this up. Clean up the inside of it if we want. Okay, and then I have this. And if I wasn't live, I would probably take a few minutes and give this a quick little press. It's not in too bad a shape, luckily. Oh, that's so cute. Is there a front or a back to it? Yeah, I think that's the front. Some of these Victorian cones are going to go on my Christmas tree. Okay, and then I will come back and tack all these edges down. Let's do just a little bit. And let's figure out a doodad embellishment of some sort. Oh my word. These glue strings are irritating. Okay, let's do a button embellishment. And this is just part of my collection of buttons. My very favorite in the whole world are these vintage mother of pearl ones. I love them. And I have been collecting for a while. Ooh, that's pretty, but is that too busy? See how that one's kind of engraved? It's hard to tell. There we go. I'm going to do something very plain here in the center. So I have been collecting buttons for a long time. Some of you guys were so blessed to receive your mother or grandmother or great aunt or great grandmother's box of buttons. Back in the day, buttons were expensive, and when a garment was completely worn out, people would clip them off and save them. And I know a lot of people have told me that they remember as little girls and little boys playing with their grandmother or great-grandmother or aunt or mother or whatever, their little button tin or button jar of buttons or button box. I did not have that experience. I have purchased a lot of my buttons at antique stores, at antique festivals. I have not been so fortunate as a lot of you guys have been to find them at a thrift store. I also have a friend who is a humongous button collector, and she has allowed me to purchase some buttons from her. But the ones I like the best are the vintage mother of pearl. So what do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, let me move some of this junk out of the way, and I'll pull everything out and show you one more time what we've got going on. My craft room is a disaster in hot glue and glitter. Oh, I forgot to show you this one. Dang. Okay, so all I did was before I rolled up this piece of paper, I took one of these pipe cleaners and put a piece of lace on it and twisted it up like this. And then I glued it out the bottom. And then I trimmed my lace up. It needs to go a little bit shorter. That was super easy. And I don't really want to recreate that right now, sorry. But it was easy. And it just adds a little something extra. Let's see. All right, do I have most everything in the... I will get good pictures, so if you can't see everything, no worries. But I hope you like this project. Depending on what you're using, what you have hanging out, lace, bling, buttons, tinsel, fabric, glitter, sheet music, depending on what you have hanging out, laying around, you can almost make these for almost nothing. And they're just so fun and different, I think. And anyways, I hope that I inspired and motivated you to give it a try. I definitely want to see pictures, please. If you decide to do this, if you haven't joined my group yet, it's called Dreamy DIY. DREAMY space DIY. It's a free Facebook group that I set up a few years ago with the objective that you guys should be able to share pictures of your craft projects there, and me too. And so that we all get a zillion more ideas. So if you haven't joined that group yet, and you're on Facebook, go to the Facebook search bar, which is up here, and type in Dreamy space DIY. It will pull up the group. You'll recognize it because it has my same kind of colors and my same sort of logo stuff on it. Ask to join, but be sure that you answer the 3 questions because my admin is, she won't admit you to the group if you don't answer those questions. Do you agree to be nice? Of course. Do you agree that you won't use that group to try to sell anything? Of course. Do you agree that you won't share other crafters' videos there? Like Sweet Barb from Shabby Tree. Please don't share her videos into this group because then I get 100 questions about how did this or that get done. But otherwise, you can share lots of your own photos. They can be your own unique projects. They don't even have to be your take on something that I've already done. And if you have instructions, feel free to share that too. So anyways, I want to see pictures of what you guys do. All right, I have talked long enough. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you were inspired and motivated to try making these Victorian cones, which sometimes are called Tussie Mussies because they used to put flowers in them and you'd carry them, or Mayday cones or baskets. Anyways, I hope I've inspired you, showed you how easy it was and how you can do it affordably using some of the Dollar Tree poster board. That's 50 cents a sheet. Alrighty, have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later.